Lil Durk's always been known to stand on business, especially when it comes to people crossing the line or messing with him. And his circle, if you with anybody that harm my people, I can't with you. I'm not into it with you since his arrest on October 24th. 2024 for that murder for hire case, the streets haven't stopped talking. Word is Bricc baby might be one of the people who snitched on Durk. And honestly, they might be right cause Durk is coming for him in full force. So what really happened? Did Bricc baby snitch? Let's get into it. The allegations. The streets have been buzzing mad crazy with word that Lil Durk has put Bricc baby on blast for allegedly snitching on him. This whole situation got the rap game in shambles with fans going at each other's necks on social media about who's keeping it 100 and who's moving like a rat. Lil Durk got snatched up by the feds on October 24th, 2024, facing some heavy murder for hire charges connected to the 2022 death of Xavier Robinson, aka Lil Pab, Quando Rondo's cousin. The moment Durk got booked, everybody started pointing fingers, and Bricc baby ended up catching all the heat as the suspected snitch in the cut. These charges ain't just coming out of nowhere. They're tied into Durk's whole history of beef. His situation with Quando Rondo has been straight fire, all stemming from that Atlanta shootout in November 2020 that left King Von dead after Von got packed out. The feds claim Durk put a bag on Rondo's head, which supposedly led to that 2022 hit attempt where they ended up bodying Lil Pab instead for Durkio. This latest case is the most serious smoke he's ever faced. Back in 2012. He was just trading diss tracks with Lil Jojo, and in 2014, he had that little situation with Chief Keef that they squashed. But this Quando beef got real, bodies dropped, and the feds all in his business. The alleged plot against Rondo shows how rap beef can go from just spitting bars to catching major cases, especially when you got cats like Bricc baby who might be telling tales on every social platform from Reddit to X. Fans been dissecting every little connection between Durk and Bricc baby, people saying Bricc baby is co-conspirator for in the paperwork, supposedly the one who gave up Quando Rondo's location to Durk's squad. Only the family OTS whack 100 took it to another level when he straight called out Bricc baby as a rat during DJ Academic's livestream. Meanwhile, some dude on X claimed Durk dropped a whole 100 bands on Bricc baby for setting up the LOL Pab hit, which only made the whole situation more heated on Reddit. These rumors been spreading like wildfire in a thread about Bricc baby's alleged involvement in the Lil Pab situation. One user dismissed the whole thing, saying, "Who gives what AK thinks? Either they ain't do none important or progressive for the culture. They just live on the internet 24/7s and just speak on they haven't been through or know anything about." Another fan analyzed Brick's own bars, noting that Bricc baby said in his song, "A quarter ain't enough, you going to need 100. I can see them paying 100K for Lil Pab," connecting his lyrics to the alleged payment. What makes this whole situation extra spicy is Durk's long history of beefing with other rappers in the drill scene, from early ops like Lil Jojo and Chief Keef to more recent smoke with NBA Youngboy and 6ix9ine multiplied by 9. Durk has been in his fair share of rap battles. Most of these beefs got their roots in Chicago's gang politics, especially the tension between Black disciples. Durk's F and gangster disciple sets the irony in all this is crazy. Big Durk's whole issue with 6ix9ine multiplied by 9 back in 2020 was mainly because 6ix9ine multiplied by 9 was branded as a rat after snitching on his 9 Trey homies in 2019. Durk, like most in the culture, saw that as breaking street code. He even planned to drop music the same day as 6ix9ine multiplied by 9's Tattletales album, just to try and crush his numbers. Now, Durk himself might be getting backdoored by someone from his own circle, showing how these street principles can get flipped real quick. But what sets the Bricc baby situation apart from Durk's other beefs is that this ain't about direct opposition. It's about alleged betrayal from inside the camp. In street culture, that's the ultimate violation, which is why these accusations hit different. Bricc baby ain't been quiet about all this. In a Vlad TV sit-down, he straight denied being co-conspirator for, pointing out that he was locked up on November 6, 2020, when this person supposedly linked with Durk. He admitted that the feds ran down on his crib in 2023, and took his phone with messages between him and Durk, but swears that had nothing to do. With snitching still some of Bricc Baby's own statements been looking kind of sus, in another Vlad TV interview, he made a hypothetical comment that being broke might have tempted him to give up info in the past, though he claimed he never actually did it. Check how Bricc Baby breaks down the street politics in this clip.
Gotta pray that the dudes that you mess with, you gotta pray that these dudes don't never turn on you, because it's so much betrayal and like disloyal going on. It don't matter how much you give them, it don't matter what you do for them. If they up against it, they damn near giving up everything they know.
What makes this whole situation extra wild is that Durk and Bricc Baby used to be tight. They collabed on tracks like Chick for Yo Chick 2016 and Ring Ring 2015 with Kid Ink and Lil Reese. Someone even posted a pic on Reddit showing them in a California studio together in 2022, suggesting they were still rocking with each other not too long ago. This pattern of being cool one minute and beefing the next is kind of like what happened with Durk and Chief Keef. They started out as the faces of Chicago drill, but started beefing after Durk signed to Def Jam and Intercope in late 2012. While Key was pushing his Glow Gang movement, their beef came from street politics and perceived disloyalty, with Durk feeling Keef was switching sides by supporting West Coast rappers Tyga and The Game on their Chirac remix. Unlike the Bricc Baby situation, though, Durk and Keef eventually squashed their beef in August 2014, showing that not all rap feuds got an end in bloodshed or courtroom. The current controversy got fans split down the middle, with some thinking Bricc Baby's a straight snitch and others believing he's just catching strays. One Reddit user didn't hold back, saying, "This is dry snitching as a mother." While another was heated, "But why would you say that on a huge platform like No Jumper? Durk got to cut this off, can't shut their mouth anymore." This mess is also connected to the ongoing beef between Lil Durk and NBA YoungBoy. Their beef popped off around 2020 after King Von's death and has been one of Durk's biggest conflicts. They've dropped multiple diss tracks at each other, including YoungBoy's Bring the Hook and I Hate YoungBoy, plus Durk's Aha. In an interview, Durk addressed questions about how this beef even started.
Issue with you and YoungBoy. Like, how did it start? Because there's
I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't know. I don't know. Cause what you do?
You've met him before.
What did you do for me to be into it with you? Like the world think. Diss songs back and forth. Cool.
I think he's mad. I think there's two things that he
thinks this clip shows how these rap beefs often start from small misunderstandings and then blow up into serious situations. The connection between this YoungBoy tension and the Bricc Baby drama makes everything more complicated, since fans see all these beefs as part of the same storyline, making matters worse. Another member, Jam, has also been accused of working with the police, with multiple snitching allegations floating around Durk's case. Fans are trying to figure out who might be running their mouth to the feds. On April 9, 2025, an expose claimed that No Jumper broke down newly surfaced federal paperwork tied to Bricc Baby's wiretaps, where he allegedly said wild stuff and faced snitch allegations. The next day, another post said Bricc Baby got denied bond after federal authorities used No Jumper podcast footage as evidence. These new developments suggest the feds got some serious dirt on Bricc Baby. Though the details are still murky, the controversy around Bricc Baby ain't just about him potentially talking to police. It's also about his past statements that some see as dry snitching, basically implying criminal activity without directly saying it. Back in February 2023, Bricc Baby suggested that people can't tell Durk to slide for Von anymore, hinting that Durk had already got his get back for King Von's death. These kinds of comments got people questioning his loyalty and discretion. The street code's hip-hop's unwritten rules about loyalty and snitching are the heart of this whole controversy. The accusations against Bricc Baby hit so Hard because they violate one of the most sacred principles in street culture, never talk to the cops. The severity of Lil Durk's legal troubles has everyone speculating about who might be working with the feds. Durk's facing charges of conspiracy to commit murder for hire resulting in death and use of firearms in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death. If he gets convicted, he could be looking at a life. This case revolves around some deeply personal beef. Federal prosecutors alleged that Lil Durk orchestrated the murder for hire plot to get back at Quando Rondo for King Von's death back in 2020. The cycle of violence in this situation shows how street loyalty and revenge can have deadly consequences. Durk's beef with Quando Rondo stands out from all his other conflicts, unlike his temporary issues with Chief Keef, which they squashed in 2014, or his mostly online back and forth with Tega and the game. The Rondo situation has real bodies attached to it. It's the most serious escalation of any of Durk's beefs, with legal consequences that could end his career and freedom. The Rondo situation also shows how the music industry and street life have become dangerously intertwined. According to the feds, Durk allegedly offered a $50,000 killer's fee, plus opportunities through FT whoever carried out the hit using music industry perks as part of a murder scheme. Shows how blurred these lines have become in drill culture. This ain't the only time Durk has been linked to violence against ops after FBG Duck got murdered. In August 2020, Durk paid tribute to him during a 2024 Chicago concert, showing Duck's picture alongside other dead rappers. This move caught heat from Duck's mother, who filed a lawsuit in October 2024 claiming Durk F and King Von were involved in Duck's death. While 6 dudes got convicted for Duck's murder in January 2024, the lawsuit claims played a part, adding another layer to Durk's legal drama. Lil Durk himself has talked about how King Von's death affected him and created pressure for payback. In this interview clip, he breaks down the complex street politics.
The whole situation that happened
Listen, man,
with Quando.
how we live and how we go by our and I'm speaking for the whole Chicago. You ain't there. Shut the fuck up. You weren't there. So you made a diss and said something about Von. That's why I don't with you. You ain't did. You did zero. In reality. It just happened where
This clip shows how deeply personal these beefs become and how they create pressure from fans and peers to slide for your homies. The expectations on Durk to get back for Von might have pushed him toward the alleged murder plot, creating a situation where street loyalty and revenge got all mixed up. The whole concept of loyalty and drill music is complicated and often contradictory. While artists like Durk emphasize staying down for your squad, the reality is that many of these allegiances shift over time. Durk's early beef with Lil Jojo back in 2012 was fueled by gang politics between the Black Disciples, Durk's side, and Gangster Disciples, Jojo's side, when Jojo got killed in September 2012 while riding a bike in Chicago's Englewood area. It marked one of the first major deaths in drill's violent history, though Durk was never directly connected to the murder. Social media has become the main battleground where these accusations play out in real time. On X, fans have been analyzing every little detail. One user boldly claimed, #Bricc Baby has went into hiding, bet you won't see him on No Jumper no more. While another speculated, now I wouldn't be surprised if Bricc Baby was the other co-conspirator they were speaking about in the paperwork. Brickaby's viral No Jumper interview poured gasoline on the fire after it spread across platforms. People immediately started asking Bricc Baby snitched on Durk. The speed at which these allegations spread shows how quickly reputations can be destroyed in today's connected world. On Reddit, fans have been picking apart Bricc Baby's every word in a discussion about Bricc Baby saying Durk no longer needed to slide for Von after Lil Pab's death. One user angrily commented, "This is dry snitching as a mother." Another fan believed in Durk's involvement, stating, "I emo Durk paid for that hit." While all the signs were there, Bricc Baby has tried to defend himself amid all the accusations. In an X post from October 25, 2024, He claimed he wasn't snitching, but was just trolling, trying to play off the allegations as misunderstandings or jokes. The controversy has also sparked debate about what actually counts as snitching in today's hip-hop landscape. Some argue that Bricc Baby's public statements, while not directly cooperating with authorities, still break street code by suggesting criminal activity. Others point out the hypocrisy of rappers who talk about crimes in their music but call others rats for similar behavior. The snitching allegations against Bricc Baby mirror similar accusations Durk has made against others in his beefs. His issue with 6i multiplied by 9ine was largely based on 6i multiplied by 9ine's cooperation with authorities against his 9 Trey Gangster Bloods associates in 2019. Durk, like many in rap, saw this as violating street code. The irony that Durk might now be facing betrayal from someone in his own circle adds another layer to the situation. This internal conflict about the boundaries of loyalty and self-preservation gets even more complicated when considering the serious legal consequences at stake, as 1090 Jake pointed out in this interview about Durk's co-defendants.
And I said, it completely depends on his co-defendants. If they testify against him, he's cooked.
Yeah.
If everyone stays quiet, he'll be good, but it's a little hard for the actual shooters that have been caught, that are confirmed that they're the shooters, to just say, yeah, I'll do life in prison. Like, okay, no.
This assessment highlights the harsh reality of federal cases. Loyalty often has limits when facing decades in prison. The 5 co-defendants in Durk's case, Kevin London, Grant DeAndre, Dantrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Brian Lindsay, and Asa Houston, are each facing impossible choices about cooperating versus staying loyal. The alleged murder for hire plot itself shows the dangerous mix of street loyalty and violence. According to federal prosecutors, Lil Durk allegedly offered a $50,000 killer fee plus music opportunities through F to those who carried out the hit. This blurring of lines between the music industry and street violence shows how loyalty can be bought and sold with deadly results. Another interesting aspect of this case involves how Durk and his associates communicated. Prosecutors claimed that Durk used coded language to discuss the plot, like telling associates, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with SIGME." This awareness of potential surveillance shows a sophisticated understanding of legal risks, making any potential cooperation by associates even more shocking to fans. The aftermath of King Van's murder continues to affect the whole hip-hop community. Van, who was killed in November 2020 outside an Atlanta club during a confrontation with Quando Rondo's crew, was a close homie of Durk. His death created massive pressure for revenge, with fans online constantly asking when Durk would slide for Von. This pressure shows how street codes are reinforced by fan communities. Online social media comments demanding revenge create an environment where violence becomes expected and even celebrated, putting artists like Durk in impossible positions between legal trouble and maintaining their street cred. Juan Rondo has responded to the tensions with Durk and Bricc Baby, suggesting the beef is far from over. In a March 2024 post on Reddit, fans discuss Quando's statement, "It's time to make the score 2-1, which many took as a threat of more violence. This ongoing cycle of threats and potential retaliation shows how these conflicts extend beyond just the artist to involve their entire crews and fan bases. Interestingly, Rondo has since expressed a desire to squash the beef, citing his Muslim faith and a September 2024 conversation with a Muslim advisor urging reconciliation. His October 2024 Instagram post about forgiveness was seen as referencing Durk's arrest, suggesting at least one side might be willing to end the cycle of violence. However, with Durk facing serious charges, any potential peace seems unlikely for now. The controversy surrounding Bricc Baby also reveals the complicated relationship between Los Angeles and Chicago street politics. As an LA-based rapper with ties to the rolling 60s Crips, Bricc Baby's connection to Chicago-based Durk shows how regional boundaries in hip-hop have become increasingly blurred. This cross-regional networking creates complex loyalties and potential conflicts. When legal issues arise, the federal case Lil Durk's legal troubles put a massive dark cloud over this whole controversy. The detailed federal case against him shows both how serious his situation is and why all these snitching allegations have been popping up. The charges against Durk come from an alleged plot to smoke Rondo as payback for King Von's death. Though Rondo survived, his cousin Savia Robinson Lav got killed in the August 2022 shooting in Los Angeles. Federal prosecutors claimed Durk orchestrated and bankrolled this operation, offering a $50,000 killer's fee and music opportunities through his F label. Federal prosecutors alleged Durk was caught trying to flee the country, booked on flights to Italy, Switzerland, and the UAE. This apparent attempt to duck justice likely played a big part in the judge's decision to deny him bond. The evidence against Durk seems heavy. Prosecutors have financial records, phone records, text messages, surveillance footage, and even a recorded jail call from co-defendant Keith Jones allegedly referencing Durk's disappointment that Rondo wasn't killed, stating, "The big one, we missed it." This mountain of evidence led a judge to deny Durk bond, citing his bread influence and flight risk. Making matters worse, prosecutors have also raised concerns about his potential involvement in another body in Chicago, likely referring to the January 2022 killing of Stefan Mack. Though he hasn't been charged for that yet, the case's complexity is reflected in its timeline, originally set for January 7, 2025. The trial was pushed back to October 14, 2025 due to the massive amount of evidence, over 230 gigabytes of digital material and 20,000 pages of documents. This extended timeline increases pressure on co-defendants who might be thinking about flipping 1090J, gives a sobering take on how bad things look for Durk.